I worked as a night auditor at the Riverside Inn for 3 years. My job was simple: check in late arrivals, handle the desk from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m., run the night audit reports. Last month, a guest checked into room 237 at 2:47 a.m. I processed a payment, gave him his key, watched him walk upstairs. When I ran the morning report, there was no record of him in the system. No reservation, no payment, no name, but his key had been used. Someone was in that room. And when housekeeping opened the door the next day, they found things that made them call the police. My name is Marcus. I'm 28. For 3 years, I worked the graveyard shift at the Riverside Inn, a budget hotel off Interstate 40, about 30 miles outside of Memphis. It's not a nice place. 2 stars on a good day. The kind of hotel where truckers crash for a few hours, traveling salesmen stay when they're too tired to drive, and people pay cash when they don't want their spouse to know where they've been. My shift ran from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m., Sunday through Thursday. The pay wasn't great, but it was easy work. Most nights, I get maybe 2 or 3 check-ins after midnight. The rest of the time, I'd sit at the front desk, watch TV, browse my phone, and every few hours, walk the property to make sure nobody was causing problems. The hotel had 48 rooms across 2 floors. During the week, we'd average about 20 rooms occupied. Weekends were busier, but that was the day's shift's problem. My nights were quiet, boring, even until last month. It started on a Tuesday, October 17th. I remember because it was the night before my day off, and I was looking forward to sleeping in. The shift had been dead. Only 12 rooms occupied. I checked in one guest around midnight, a trucker who paid cash and asked for a ground floor room near his rig. After that, nothing. I was watching a movie on my laptop around 2:30 a.m. when the front door opened. A man walked in, middle-aged, maybe 45, wearing a suit that looked expensive but rumpled, like he'd been traveling all day. Dark hair, average height, forgettable face. The kind of guy you pass on the street and not remember 5 minutes later. "I need a room," he said. His voice was flat. No emotion, like he was reading from a script. "Sure thing," I said, pulling up the reservation system. "Do you have a reservation?" No problem. We have plenty available." "How many nights?" "1. I started entering his information into the computer. "Can I get your name?" He paused, just for a second. Then, "David Miller." I typed it in, asked for his ID and credit card. He handed them over. Everything checked out. Indiana driver's license, Visa card. I ran the card, approved, gave him a receipt and a key card for room 237, second floor, near the back stairwell. "Checkout's at 11, I said. "Breakfast starts at 6 if you're up that early. Though honestly, I'd skip it. Continental means yesterday's bagels and burnt coffee." He didn't smile, just took the key and walked toward the stairs without a word. I watched him go. Something about him felt off, but I couldn't put my finger on what. Maybe it was the way he'd pause before giving his name. Maybe it was how he didn't make eye contact. Or maybe I was just bored and looking for something interesting in an otherwise dead night. I went back to my movie. Around 6 a.m., I started running the night audit, the daily report that reconciles all the transactions, occupancy, and revenue. It's automated mostly, but I have to review it and fix any errors before the morning shift arrives. That's when I noticed it. Room 237 wasn't on the report. I checked the reservation system. No David Miller. No check-in at 2:30 a.m. According to computer, room 237 had been vacant all night, but I'd checked him in. I'd processed his credit card. I'd given him a key. I pulled up the key card system. It tracks every time a key is used. Room 237's key had been used at 2:43 a.m. Someone had entered the room, but there was no record of me issuing that key. I stared at the screen, trying to make sense of it. Maybe the system had glitched. Maybe I'd accidentally entered him under a different room number. I checked every room. No David Miller anywhere. I called my manager, left a voicemail explaining the situation. Then I went upstairs to check room 237. I knocked, No answer. I used my master key and opened the door. The room was occupied. The bed was unmade, like someone had slept in it. There was a suitcase on the luggage rack, a suit jacket hanging in the closet, toiletries in the bathroom, but no guest. I checked the parking lot from the window. His car wasn't there. Actually, I realized I'd never seen him arrive in a car. He just walked in. I locked the room and went back downstairs. My shift was almost over. I left detailed notes for the morning manager and clocked out. I came back for my next shift Thursday night. My manager, Linda, pulled me aside as soon as I arrived. Marcus, about that room 237 situation. Housekeeping went in there yesterday. The room was occupied, but we have no record of anyone checking in. I know. I checked him in Tuesday night. David Miller. I ran his credit card and everything. She frowned. There's no charge on our merchant account. No reservation. Nothing. But someone was definitely in that room. They left a suitcase. Did they find the guy? No. He never checked out. Just left. We have his stuff in Lost and found if he comes back for it. She let go as a system glitch. Told me to be more careful entering information. I didn't argue, but I knew I had made a mistake. That night, I paid closer attention. Around 1:15 a.m., a woman walked in. 30s blonde, wearing a business suit. She walked straight to the desk. I need a room. Same flat tone. Same emotionless delivery. Do you have a reservation? No. I went through the same process. Got her name, Jennifer Cole. Ran her credit card. Approved. Gave her a key to room 114. She took it and walked away without a word. I watched her go up to the second floor. Then I immediately checked the system. No Jennifer Cole. No check-in. No transaction. But the key card log showed room 114 had been accessed at 1:23 a.m. I sat there, staring at the computer, my heart pounding. This wasn't a glitch. This was happening again. I grabbed my master key and went upstairs to room 114. I knocked. No answer. I opened the door. Empty. Bed untouched. No luggage. No sign anyone had entered. But the key card log didn't lie. Someone had used that key 8 minutes ago. I searched the room. Nothing. I checked the bathroom, the closet, under the bed. Nobody. I locked the door and went back downstairs. For the rest of my shift, I kept checking the system every 10 minutes. Room 114 stayed empty. Jennifer Cole never appeared in any report. But at 6 a.m., when housekeeping arrived and I briefed them on occupied rooms, I warned them to skip 114 until I could talk to management. Linda called me later that afternoon. Marcus, what's going on? You flagged room 114 as occupied, but it's empty. The bed hasn't even been slept in. I checked someone in there last night. Jennifer Cole. I gave her a key. The system shows the key was used. There's no record of her. I know. Silence on the line. Then, Marcus, are you feeling okay? Do you need some time off? I told her I was fine. But I wasn't, because I knew what I'd seen. And it was about to get worse. The next week, it happened 4 more times. Different guests. Different rooms. Same pattern. They'd walk in late at night. Always between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. Ask for a room. No reservation. Pay with credit card. I'd process everything normally. Give them a key. Watch them go upstairs. And then they'd vanish from the system. No record. No charge. No name. But their rooms would show signs of occupancy. Unmade beds. Used towels. Luggage left behind. And the key card logs always showed entry. Management thought I was losing my mind. They reviewed security footage. The cameras showed me at the desk, going through check-in procedures, talking empty air. The footage never showed the guests. Just me, alone, having conversations with no one, processing payments on the card reader with no card visible, printing key cards and setting them on the counter where they'd disappear. But I wasn't crazy. I could see them, interact with them. They were real. I started documenting everything. Wrote down names, room numbers, times. Took photos of the occupied rooms. collected the items they left behind. That's when I noticed a pattern. All of the names were people who had died. I Googled every name. David Miller died in a car accident in 2019. Jennifer Cole murdered in her home in 2021. The others, various deaths over the past 5 years. Different causes, different locations. But all of them had one thing in common. They'd all stayed at the Riverside Inn before they died. I went through our archives, found their old reservations. David Miller had stayed here in March 2019, 3 months before his accident. Jennifer Cole checked in for 2 nights in January 2021, a week before her murder. They were coming back to the last hotel they'd stayed at before they died. I couldn't let it go. I had to know why this was happening. Last Tuesday, I decided to confront one of them. The next ghost who checked in, I was going to talk to them, ask them what they wanted. At 2:47 a.m., the exact time David Miller had arrived, the door opened. David Miller walked in. Same suit, same face, same flat voice. "I need a room." My hands were shaking as I pulled up the system. I checked you in before. Room 237, 3 weeks ago. "I need a room," he repeated. Exact same tone, like a recording. "Why are you here? You're dead. I know you're dead." He stared at me. No expression. Room 237. I printed a key card. My curiosity overrode my fear. I handed it to him. "Why do you keep coming back?" He took the key, turned toward the stairs, then stopped, looked back at me. For the first time, his expression changed. Sadness. Deep, profound sadness. I never checked out. He walked upstairs. I heard his footsteps on the metal walkway, heard the key card beep, heard the door to room 237 open and close. I grabbed my phone and followed him. When I reached the second floor, the door to 237 was closed. I used my master key to open it. The room was empty, completely empty. No luggage, no rumpled bed, no sign anyone had been there. But on the nightstand, there was something that hadn't been there before. A note, handwritten. "I died in this room. March 15th, 2019. I checked in, but I never checked out. None of US did." My blood went cold. I pulled up our records from March 15th, 2019. Room 237. Guest, David Miller. Checked in March 14th. Supposed to check out March 16th. But there was a note in the system from the morning manager. Guest found unresponsive in room. Police and EMT called. Guest deceased. Natural causes, heart attack. David Miller had died in this room, in this hotel, and so had the others. I checked every name. Every ghost who checked in over the past month. All of them had died here. Different rooms, different dates. Heart attacks, strokes, one overdose, one suicide. The Riverside Inn was where they died. And for some reason, they kept coming back, checking in, going to their rooms, reliving their last night over and over. But why couldn't the living see them? Why was I the only one? I went back to the desk, pulled up the employee records, looked up every night auditor who'd worked here before me. 3 of them. All quit within a year. All quit suddenly, with no explanation. I called the most recent one, a guy named Thomas. He'd quit 8 months before I was hired. He answered on the 3rd ring. "Yeah." "Thomas? My name is Marcus. I work at the Riverside Inn. I need to ask you something." Silence. Then, "You're seeing them, aren't you? The guests. The ones who don't show up in the system." "Yeah. I saw them for 6 months before I couldn't take it anymore. I thought I was losing my mind. Why us? Why can night auditors see them?" "I don't know, but I talked to the guy before me. He said the same thing happened to him. And the one before that. It's the shift. Something about being here alone at night. We're the only ones here when they come back." "Did you ever figure out what they want?" "They don't want anything. They're stuck, caught in a loop, checking in, going to their rooms, trying to leave but never making it out. They died here, and some part of them can't accept it. So they keep coming back, trying to finish their stay. How do I make it stop? You don't. You either quit or you accept that this is part of the job now. I couldn't handle it. That's why I left. He hung up. I'm writing this on my last night. I've decided to quit. I can't do this anymore. Every night, more of them come. David Miller, Jennifer Cole, others whose names I've documented. They check in. They go to their rooms. They never leave. Last night, I saw 15 of them. 15 dead people, walking to the lobby, asking for rooms, disappearing into the system like they were never there. Management thinks I'm having a breakdown. They've suggested I take medical leave, see a therapist. But I know what I saw, and I know why I saw it. The Riverside Inn isn't just a hotel. It's a trap for people who died here before they were ready to go. They're caught in a loop, try and complete their stay, try and check out, but something keeps pulling them back. And the night auditors, we're the only ones who can see them, because we're here alone in the dead hours, when the barrier between the living and the dead is thinnest. I could stay, accept it, process their phantom check-ins, watch them file into rooms that will never show them as occupied. But I can't, because last night, something changed. One of them spoke to me, not David Miller. Someone new, a woman I'd never seen before. She checked in at 3:33 a.m., asked for room 112. I gave her the key. Before she left, she looked at me and said, "You should leave before you become one of us." I asked her what she meant. She smiled sadly. Every night auditor who stays too long eventually joins us. They die here, at the desk. Heart attack, stroke, aneurysm. And then they start checking in at night too. Why do you think so many quit? This morning, I looked up the night auditors from the past 20 years. 5 of them. 3 quit within a year, like Thomas. The other 2 died on the job. Heart attacks, both at the front desk, both during their shift. Their names are in the system. Both of them have checked in as guests in the past month. I'm not going to be the next one. Tonight is my last shift. At 7 a.m., I'm walking out, and I'm never coming back. But before I go, I need to tell someone. I need someone to know what's happening here. So if you ever stay at the Riverside and off Interstate 40, and you check in late at night, and the person at the desk looks at you with this exhausted, haunted expression, just know that they're seeing things you can't. And if you work the night audit anywhere, a hotel, a gas station, any place where you're alone in the dead hours, pay attention. Because you might start seeing guests who aren't really there. And if you do, get out before you check in permanently.
I've been a tow truck driver for 12 years. I worked the night shift for AAA in rural Tennessee. Last month, I started getting calls to mile marker 34 on Old Hickory Road, a stretch of abandoned highway that's been closed for 6 years. Every call is the same. Stranded motorist, dead battery, needs a tow. I show up. There's always a car. Driver's side door open. Headlights on. Keys in the ignition. But no driver. No one anywhere. I've towed 17 cars from that exact spot in the past 4 weeks. This morning, I looked up the plates. Every single one of those cars was reported in fatal accidents. Years ago, on that same road. And last night, I got a call to mile marker 34 again. This time, the car was mine. My name's Jake Holloway. I'm 41. I've been driving tow trucks since I was 29, working for AAA out of Cookeville, Tennessee. It's not glamorous work, but it pays decent and I like the independence. You're basically your own boss out there. Dispatch gives you a call, you handle it, move on to the next one. I work the night shift, 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., Thursday through Monday. Pays better than days, and honestly, I prefer it. Less traffic, fewer people. Most calls are straightforward. Dead batteries, flat tires, keys locked in cars, occasional breakdown on the interstate. You show up, help them out, they're grateful, you move on. Simple. Our territory covers about a 100-mile radius around Cookeville. Lots of rural roads, small towns, long stretches of nothing. During the day, it's all farms and forests. At night, it's just dark. No streetlights once you get outside town. Just your headlights and the occasional porch light from a farmhouse set back from the road. I know every road in our coverage area, every back route, every shortcut. After 12 years, you develop a mental map. I could probably drive most of them blindfolded, including Old Hickory Road. Old Hickory's a 2-lane state route that used to connect Cookeville to a smaller town called Millbrook about 30 miles east. Used to be the main road before they built the interstate in the early 2000s. After that, traffic dropped off. By 2015, the state decided it wasn't worth maintaining anymore. Too many accidents, dangerous curves, poor sight lines. They built a new county road that bypassed it entirely and officially closed Old Hickory in 2018. Put up barriers at both ends, posted road closed signs, cut it off from the system. Nobody's supposed to use it anymore. There's nothing out there anyway. Millbrook's a ghost town now. Population dropped from 800 to maybe 50 after the bypass went Indiana. Most people moved away. The few who stayed don't drive Old Hickory. They use the new route. So when I got my first call to Old Hickory Road last month, I was confused. It was a Thursday night, around 2:30 a.m. Slow night. I'd done one jumpstart earlier and spent the rest of my shift parked at a truck stop, drinking coffee and watching YouTube on my phone. Dispatch called. Jake, we've got a stranded motorist on Old Hickory Road, mile marker 34, dead battery, requesting a jump or tow. Old Hickory's closed, I said. I know, but that's what the caller said. Can you check it out? I sighed. Probably someone who didn't know about the closure. Took a wrong turn, got stuck. Happens sometimes with GPS sending people down outdated routes. Yeah, I'm on it. I drove out there. Took about 20 minutes from where I was parked. The barriers at the entrance to Old Hickory had been moved aside. Someone had definitely gone in there. I pulled past them and onto the road. It was weird being back on Old Hickory. I hadn't driven it in years. The pavement was cracked, weeds growing through. No maintenance in 6 years. Fog was thick that night, made visibility maybe 30 feet. My headlights cut through it like I was driving through soup. Mile marker 34 was about 8 miles in, near the midpoint of the road. It's a straight stretch, no curves, just dense forest on both sides. When I got there, I saw the car. A Honda Civic, silver, parked on the shoulder. Driver's side door open, headlights on, hazards blinking. I pulled up behind it, put on my ambers, grabbed my jumper cables and flashlight. Hello, I called out. AAA, you called for a jump. No answer. I walked up to the car, looked inside. Keys in the ignition, phone in the cup holder, purse on the passenger seat, but no driver. Hello, I called again, louder this time. Shined my flashlight into the woods. Nothing. I checked the car more carefully. Battery was dead. I tested it. That matched the call. But where was the driver? I walked up and down the road, calling out. Checked the woods on both sides. Nobody. It was like they'd vanished. I called dispatch. Hey, I'm at the location. Car's here, but no driver. Did the caller say anything else? Just that they were at mile marker 34 with a dead battery. Standard call. Can you call them back? See where they are. She tried. Number went straight to voicemail. I stood there trying to figure out what to do. Company policy is you can't tow a car without the owner's permission unless it's blocking traffic or creating a hazard. This car was safely on the shoulder, but it was also on a closed road in the middle of nowhere at 3 a.m. I decided to tow it. Hooked it up, brought it back to our impound lot, left a note on our board about the situation. Figured the owner would call looking for their car eventually. They never did. 3 nights later, I got another call. Same location. Mile marker 34 Old Hickory Road. Dead battery. I drove out there already feeling uneasy. When I arrived, there was a different car. Ford pickup this time. Red. Same situation, door open, lights on, keys in the ignition. No driver. I searched the area. Called out. Nothing. Towed it back. Over the next 2 weeks, it happened 6 more times. Always mile marker 34. Always between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. Different vehicles. Same pattern. Door open. Lights on. No driver. I started documenting everything. Took photos. Wrote down plate numbers, make and model, condition of each vehicle. Asked dispatch to save recordings of the calls. The calls all came from different numbers, different voices, men, women, different ages. But the words were always similar. I'm stranded on Old Hickory Road, mile marker 34, dead battery, need help. When dispatch tried calling the numbers back, they were always disconnected or went to voicemail. None of the callers ever came to claim their vehicles. After the 8th car, I started running the plates. That's when I found out. I ran the first plate through the DMV database. Honda Civic, silver, Tennessee plates. Registered to Sarah Mitchell. Reported totaled in a fatal accident on Old Hickory Road, July 2019. Driver deceased. I stared at the screen, thinking I'd made a mistake. Pulled the VIN number off the car in our impound lot. Matched perfectly. The car I towed had been destroyed in a fatal accident 5 years ago, but it was sitting in our lot, intact, no damage. I ran the second plate, Ford pickup, registered to Mark Stevens. Fatal accident, Old Hickory Road, November 2020. Driver deceased. Third car, Jennifer Lawson. Fatal accident, Old Hickory Road, March 2021. Every single vehicle I towed from mile marker 34 was registered to someone who died in an accident on that road. I went back through AAA records, looking for any similar calls before I started getting them. Found 3 instances over the past 2 years. Different drivers had responded. Same location, same situation, cars with dead batteries, no drivers, vehicles that matched fatal accidents. Those drivers had all quit within a month of their first call to mile marker 34. I tracked down 2 of them. First guy, Danny, worked for us until last year. Called him. Danny, it's Jake from AAA. I need to ask you about Old Hickory Road. Long silence. Then, you've been getting calls there? Yeah. Mile marker 34. I got 4 of them before I quit. Cars with dead batteries. No drivers. Did you run the plates? Yeah. They're all from fatal accidents. I know. I figured that out too. That's why I quit. I don't know what's happening out there, but I wasn't going to keep going back. Did anything else happen? Anything besides finding empty cars? He hesitated. The 4th time I went, I saw someone standing in the road about 100 yards past the car. Just standing there. When I got closer, they were gone. I didn't go back after that. The second guy, Curtis, had the same story. 3 calls. Empty cars. Fatal accident victims. He quit after he started having nightmares about it. I should have quit too. I know that now, but I was stubborn. I wanted answers. I wanted to know what was happening and why, so I kept taking the calls. By the end of the 3rd week, I towed 17 cars from mile marker 34. Our impound lot was full of them. Management was getting frustrated. Where are the owners? Why isn't anyone claiming these vehicles? I didn't tell them the owners were dead. Didn't tell them the cars shouldn't exist. I just said I was working on it. I started researching Old Hickory Road's history. Found newspaper archives about the accidents. Between 2015 and 2018, there were 23 fatal accidents on that road. Most of them around mile marker 34. That's why the state closed it. That specific stretch was a death trap. But here's what I couldn't find. An explanation for why. The road was straight there. Good visibility. No sharp curves. Nothing that should cause that many accidents. Yet people kept dying. Single-car accidents mostly. Vehicles leaving the road, hitting trees. A few head-ons where drivers crossed the center line for no apparent reason. Accident reports mentioned fog. Driver fatigue. Speed. But 23 fatalities in 3 years on a straight stretch of road. That's not normal. I decided to go out there during the day. See it in daylight. Maybe I'd missed something. I drove out on a Tuesday afternoon. The barriers were still pushed aside from all my nighttime trips. I went through, drove to mile marker 34. In daylight, it looked normal. Just an old, abandoned road. Cracked pavement. Overgrown shoulders. Trees on both sides. Nothing sinister. I got out, walked around. The shoulder where I'd found all those cars was just gravel and weeds. No signs of accidents. No debris. Nothing to suggest anything unusual had ever happened there. I stood there for maybe 20 minutes, trying to feel whatever it was I felt at night. But during the day, it was just quiet. Empty. I got back in my truck and left. That night, I got another call. Mile marker 34. 2:47 a.m. I drove out there, already knowing what I'd find. Another car. Another dead battery. No driver. But this time was different. When I arrived at mile marker 34, there were two cars. The first was a Chevy Malibu, blue, driver's door open, headlights on. Standard setup. The second was parked about 50 feet ahead. Toyota Camry. Same situation. I called dispatch. How many calls did you get for this location? Just one. 2:47 a.m. Why? There are two cars here. I approached the first car. Checked inside. Keys, phone, wallet. No driver. Ran the plate on my phone. Fatal accident, Old Hickory Road, August 2017. Walked to the second car. Same thing. Checked the plate. Fatal accident, Old Hickory Road, December 2019. I stood between the two cars, my flashlight sweeping the fog. Something was very wrong. Not just the empty cars. The air felt heavy, oppressive, like the pressure before a storm. And it was quiet. Too quiet. No insects. No wind. Just silence. Then I heard it. Car engine. Coming from further down the road. Headlights appeared in the fog. Car was driving toward me. Past me slowly. An old Buick, maybe from the 90s. I could see the driver, an older man, gripping the steering wheel, staring straight ahead. He didn't look at me, didn't slow down, just drove past. I watched his taillights disappear into the fog. Then, about a quarter mile down the road, I heard it. The sound of an impact. Metal crunching. Glass breaking. I ran toward the sound, flashlight out. When I got there, I found the Buick, wrapped around a tree. Driver's side caved in. I ran up to check on the driver. Looked through the broken window. The car was empty. No driver. No blood. No body. But the engine was still running. Headlights still on. I backed away slowly, my heart pounding. Pulled out my phone to call 911. That's when I saw them. Headlights. Multiple sets. Coming from both directions on the road. Cars were appearing out of the fog. Dozens of them. Driving slowly toward mile marker 34. I stood there, frozen, as they passed me. Different makes. Different models. Different decades. All driving in silence. All heading toward the same spot. When they reached mile marker 34, they stopped. Doors opened. Drivers stepped out. I could see them now. Men, women, different ages. They stood beside their cars, staring at me. No one spoke. They just watched. I recognized some of the faces from accident photos I'd found in the news archives. Sarah Mitchell, Mark Stevens, others whose names I'd written down. They were the people who died here. And every night at 2:47 a.m., they came back. Drove this road again. Crashed again. Called for help again. Stuck in a loop. One of them stepped forward. A man in his 30s wearing a suit from the 1990s. "You should stop coming here," he said. His voice was hollow, distant. "What is this place?" I asked, my voice shaking. "It's where we died, and it won't let us leave. We keep trying. Every night, we call for help. We wait for someone to save us. But no one can. We just keep dying here, over and over. Why? We don't know. Something about this road, this spot. Once you die here, you're trapped. You become part of it." He looked at the other figures standing silently by their cars. "There used to be fewer of us, but more keep coming. Every accident adds another one. And the road, it's getting hungrier. Hungrier. It wants more. Causes accidents. Makes people crash. We've seen it. Fog that appears out of nowhere. Lights that blind you. Voices on the radio. Whatever it takes to make you lose control." I backed toward my truck. "I'm leaving. I'm not coming back. Good, he said, because if you die here, you'll be one of us. And you'll spend eternity calling for help that never comes. I ran to my truck, got in, and drove. I quit the next day, told my boss I was done, didn't give a reason, just walked away. I haven't been back to Old Hickory Road since that night. But 3 days ago, something happened that made me realize I'm not free of it. I was at home watching TV when my phone rang. Unknown number. I answered. AAA? A voice said. My voice. Who is this? I'm stranded on Old Hickory Road. Mile marker 34. Dead battery. I need a tow. I hung up, checked my call log. The number showed as my own cell phone. ID just received a call from myself. That night I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about what the man in the suit had said. Once you die here, you're trapped. But I wasn't dead. I'd left. I was fine. Then I remembered something. On my last trip to mile marker 34, when I was running back to my truck, I'd felt dizzy, lightheaded, chest pain. I thought it was panic. But what if it wasn't? What if something happened to me there? What if I'm already part of it and I just don't know it yet? Last night, I drove past the entrance to Old Hickory Road. The barriers were gone. The road closed signs had been removed, and there was a new car parked just inside. A tow truck. Mine. I didn't drive it there. I'm sitting in my truck right now, parked in my driveway. But somehow it's also on Old Hickory Road. I don't know what's happening. I don't know if I'm alive or if I died that night and I've been a ghost this whole time, going through the motions of my life without realizing I'm gone. All I know is that my phone keeps ringing. Unknown numbers. My own number. Dispatch numbers that don't exist. And they all say the same thing. I'm stranded on Old Hickory Road. Mile marker 34. Dead battery. I need help. I think tonight I'm going to answer. I'm going to drive out there one more time. Because I need to know if I'm still alive, or if I've been calling for help this whole time, just like the others. If you're a tow truck driver, and you get a call to an abandoned road in the middle of the night, and something feels wrong about it, don't go. Because some roads don't let you leave. And once you're part of them, you'll spend forever calling for help. From yourself. If you've made it this far, thank you for watching. Drop a comment, like, share, and subscribe.